Right, as he said, noticing the toothpaste down his top. Listen, I'm tired. Leave me alone. As many of you will already know, those that have been following on TikTok, etc., or part of the TMC Crew group on Facebook, come and join us. Come and join us. You'll know that since about August time, I've been using these Baylys Baits. Yes. I switched over to them it was around mid-August time, started using them, and then started using them in earnest from end of August, beginning of September. As almost straight away, I had my first PB on it, almost on I think it was my first or second session, and it's been doing consistently well ever since. So yeah, I've been massively impressed. Now, they're a small company, but growing. They really are. They're doing phenomenally well. They've increased the size of their premises. They've increased the size of their rolling capacity, and they're really doing very, very nicely. Thank you. You know, their service is great. They've been getting baits out, you know, very often on the next day delivery, which is just fantastic. Makes a world of difference. It really does. So yeah, I thought we'd kind of talk about just very quickly, very quickly about the baits themselves. So they produce 4 flavours. They do the secret sauce, which is the first one I use, which is a fish based, but it has got a fruity twist with it as well. So if you're not sure, you know, kind of you like a bit of fruit, you don't know whether to go with that or a fish meal, the secret sauce is the one, because it has both in there. You've got then the Apex, which is a spicy liver or garlic liver sausage. And that was originally made for catfishing. But they found it just worked fantastically well with carp. So yeah, it's used a lot for your normal carping, and I don't go for cats, and I've used that a lot and caught a lot of good fish on it. And then you've got the one I'm using. I have got an Apex on, but I've also got 2 on the God's Gift, which is the nutty one, but it also contains Scopex. So for here it's ideal, because we do know that the house bait is actually Scopex based. So that's why we've got that on, and that is what has caught the last fish so far of the session. I say so far because we've still got another night to go. And that was my first ever 40. Yeah, a 45. Massively chuffed with that. But we've had 230s out on it since we've been here. 330s, 2 31s and a 36. That's right. And we would have had a lot more. I've lost 6 to hook pulls, and it took a long time to suss out exactly what the problem was. And it wasn't the rigs, it wasn't the setup, it was literally the fact that the hooks I was using were too fine, hand sharpened, and they just don't do it on here. So I've got some thicker gauge hooks, and we've landed everyone since. So we'd have had kind of 5 or 6 more on the bank if I had sorted that out. But the baits themselves were doing the job. You know, they were getting the fish on. It was just, you know, me not doing my bit at the end with the getting the rigs right. However, we remedied that, and you know, we've done all right since. So the baits themselves, as I say, you've got those 3 flavours. You've also got pineapple. Now, I'm not going to talk much about the pineapple because I've not actually used it. I've heard some fantastic reports. People are telling me, you know, Darren, you've really got to try it, and I will do. It's just I haven't got much confidence in fruit-based baits. Don't know why. I just haven't. So I've kind of put that one to the last. Do you know what I mean? So once we get the spawning season out the way, I think I will be giving it a go, and we'll see how we get on with it. But I will be keeping, of course, the others in the bag, you know, ready to pull out, you know, if things don't go the way we want them to. It's always good to have a kind of a benchmark bait, if you like. You know, when you're trying new ones out, have something that you know you're really confident with, and have both out. And if one is working, you know, a lot more than the other, then, you know, potentially you've got some kind of comparison. But if you're just chucking both rods out on a new bait and you're not catching, chances are you're going to say, oh, it's the bait, when actually you could just not be on the fish, or they're just not on the feed. Simple as. You know what I mean? So for cases like that, I always have the ones I'm confident with in the arsenal, ready to go. So the baits themselves, you'll see, this is straight out the bag. I genuinely don't do anything with this. Occasionally I might put the syrup on, the spod syrup, just to give it a little bit of a glaze, you know, kind of when I'm mixing it up maybe with pellet or something. But other than that, I really don't do anything with it. I don't kind of prepare it for weeks beforehand or anything like that. Now these are shelf life, and you'll see they just crumble. Really nice and soft, so they break up really nicely in the water. They do, of course, in all the flavors, they do the wafters, they do the pop-ups, so you've got those options. You've also got these, which have been my secret weapon for a little while now. He says, spilling them all over the floor. So these are the venoms. Now these are a high leakage, all right. When I first saw them, I just thought, no, that's ridiculous. That's not going to work, because they give off this green mist. Now, there was a couple of things. Got something hanging from me hat. What's that? There's a couple of things. First of all, I was sceptical about, yeah, hold on. That looks ridiculous. You know, no fish is going to be attracted to that. You've got this green mist coming off. Then Martin explained the science to me. Now, we all know that animals, of course, see things in a different way to us, and fish don't see it as a green cloud. They see it as like a white milky cloud. And being curious as they are, they do go and investigate. Now, because you've got this cloud around it, it's almost obscuring, you know, part of the bait and also the rig as well. So you've got that attraction bringing them in, and then this visual thing where they're getting curious and coming in for it. And I have caught a lot of fish on this. I was a convert right from the first time I used it. Absolutely brilliant. So they've got those in pop-ups and wafters as well. They also do the Illuminati, which is something really different. Now that's using bioluminescence. So you activate it with a UV torch, okay? And yeah, it goes in the water and it glows. Amazing. So, you know, you can either use it on its own as a pop-up, or you can use it as a topper, just again to give that visual impact on very cloudy water like on here, or at night, of course. You know, it makes sense, doesn't it? Now, going on that, you know, it's important to note that there are no chemicals involved with that. These are naturally produced phenomenon, if you like. And one of the things I did ask about these, because I've heard a lot about these goos and things, and you know, all this stuff using plumber's dye, and so I asked Martin about them, and yeah, sure enough, they do. But this isn't the plumber's dye that you buy from like B&Q or whatever to kind of go and check a leak in your pipes at home. This is industrial, right? Now, normally you think, well, industrial isn't going to be as good, but in this case it's the opposite. Because they have to use such large quantities of it, we're talking about finding leaks in dams and stuff like that. Because they have to use such large quantities, obviously they can't be putting chemicals that are going to be bad for the wildlife, the fish, etc., into the waterways. So they use naturally produced chemicals, for better name for it, but it's all naturally produced. It's all natural stuff. So there is no harm to any of the fish, the wildlife, etc. Yeah, so it just looks really weird to us, but let me tell you, that is a phenomenal bait. And they do the venoms, as I say, in all flavors, and in all, you know, in the wafter and pop-up variety. They also do a goo in it as well, if you want to just kind of add it to your bags, etc. So go and have a look. They do a load of other stuff as well. They've got this fantastic new bag mix. Now I've got it. I've not actually tried it because I haven't been in the right place to give that a go yet. I don't use solid bags an awful lot, but I have been told that, yeah, putting it in a mesh bag can work really well as well. So I'm going to be trying that at a later time. But yeah, go and do yourselves a favour. Go and give it a look. These are the people, Baylys Baits. It's baylysbaits.com. They are also on Facebook. They are also on Instagram, and they're on TikTok as well. So go and give them a look. If you come and join us on the Facebook group TMC Crew, come and join us in there. Go to the featured posts, and you'll actually have access to discount codes on there. There are other codes around, but ours is an ongoing code. It's a multi-use code. It's not just a one-off like a lot of them are. So come and join us on TMC Crew. Get access to the code and get on this stuff, because honestly, it really is absolutely pucker. I've been very, very impressed with it in the time I've used it. Yeah, just go and give it a go. All right.